Hi, Kristen Newman. NDE occurred 5 months ago on November 3, 2024. I am a medium, psychic, and spiritual worker. Being able to experience what the folks I channel in spirit, who have passed, said me, and having the memories of everything that happened was incredible and meaningful. I want to share my story and share my experience. Construction is my husband's job. He works all the time and rarely comes home. Mostly gone in the morning. Our college-aged daughter is usually gone. November 3rd was my husband's birthday, so he stayed home that morning. He stayed in the room. I felt great morning. I have serious heart difficulties. I have a rapid heart rate. I have supraventricular and ventricular tachycardia and arrhythmias. Therefore, I have erratic beats. I stayed home because of this. It prevents me from traveling. I've had this 15 plus years. I felt terrific that morning. One of my best mornings. I felt great and took a shower. All I remember is washing my hair, putting my conditioner in and letting it sit, turning around to wash my face, and feeling something. My spirit came out of my crown, and I faced myself as I automatically went toward the shower wall. I saw myself fall and smack my head on the shower's marble doorway. My husband remarked, "Whatever you did, you got the dog's attention." He turned and ran up to me, seeing that I had slumped. Knowing what was happening, I knew I died and my heart stopped when it happened. I saw certain things in spirit. I saw myself turning purple. My husband called for my daughter to enter, so I saw her face. I saw the ambulance then. So it was just a few things and went swiftly. Because I continued going blue and purple, my husband had to administer constant chest compressions to keep me alive, and the paramedics had to stabilize me before we could leave. Was unresponsive. I was unresponsive for 20 hours during this whole affair. I was intubated and unresponsive. I was sucked out when I saw myself in the ambulance and they were breathing for me, and from there I went straight to God, to Source, something I will never forget and think about every day because it was so profound and magnificent. Most importantly, I was free. I didn't sense body weight. We were light. I felt light. We feel strong emotions like shame, guilt, fear, and rage. In spirit, none of that exists. Your knowledge is deep. Source gives you a tremendous consciousness to watch and see things as they are. Love beyond words, love for your child, family, and spouse. But love and joy are heightened, so beautiful. I call him or God because of my upbringing. God is masculine and feminine. It's not painful to look at God's big ball of warm yellow light. It's not like seeing the sun. I think God is represented by the color of the sunset or sunrise, especially in Florida, which is beautiful warm yellow. I saw God in that color. Because I went straight to God, I remember more of our chats. I sensed seraphim angels about me. God was glad of my life here, saying, "You did wonderful. Look how amazing what experiences you had. There's no shame. I never want somebody to fear about their life or that they won't be accepted over there since we are so loved beyond what we can imagine." However, I could sit in that emotion forever, thinking of being loved and with God and feeling these seraphim angels that looked like pearlescent dragons with 4 wings around me. The higher self, our spiritual self closer to God, Source, is discussed in spiritual activity. A few years ago, I discovered my higher self is a bond through a series of occurrences. My higher self was with me as I spoke with God. From there, I heard whispers, Kristen, 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 Christy, Christy, Kristen, Kristen, and all these rays of light arrived on me. God said, "Look down, look at them. Your consciousness goes wherever you need it to go, not ahead." My attention was drawn to these light rays. God said, "If you look at the ray of light, you can go directly to that person. You can hear them. You can go and actually see them if you wish to do that." But all of my friends, loved ones, and family were praying for me, and I could hear them. Several were boisterous. I can hear some crying, but these were prayers to me, so know that loved ones in spirit hear everything. In a coma or unresponsive state, someone can hear and see you. I find it fascinating because my kid loves capturing eye photographs. Because your eyes aren't just brown or black or blue, they have flecks of many colors, like the nebula. My daughter was in the room when I opened my eyes during intubation, and she was excited. The nurse stated it was my body's response. God takes you out. My daughter Emily stated, "You weren't there, those weren't your eyes. They were flat. There was no depth or color to them. They were flat. When I channeled loved ones, they constantly said, God takes you out. So even if the body is in anguish, whether it's an animal or a human, God takes you out so you don't feel it. I cannot emphasize enough. It was so fast that I'm still stunned. Nothing hurt when I was out. Another remarkable thing is that I always communicate with my guides, angels, guardian angels, etc. Our spirit team assists us. My mom asked her guides, please can you let me know that Chrissy is okay, on the way to the hospital. We call each other her apple and my tree because the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. She said, my name is Apple. I'm going to be Kristen's nurse. If you need anything, let me know. My mom said, What? What's your name? And she said, I know, my name is Apollonia, but my friends call me Apple. So Spirit told me everything would be okay. That was profound. My mom should ask Spirit for a sign. I had a life review and could choose to stay or go while in spirit. My life review was all nice, pleasant, cheerful, and joyful. My actions made people happy, and I could feel their emotions. Feeling their excitement and satisfaction was what mattered. I'm hard on myself like Kristen learns. Spirit and God showed me something where if I did something wrong or hurt other people, they're like, no, this is about you igniting that joy and seeing how happy other people are and feeling it from their perspective. That memory ignited me to come back here and do more of that, to spread joy, magic, and happiness. They provided me the gift of seeing joy in others, my loved ones, family, and everything else. I changed locations. Just remembering. Go somewhere else and everyone is there in a blink. It was a sea of people, guides, angels, past beings, animals, and channeled entities. I've channeled a teenage boy, a buddy's deceased pal, several times. He was front and visible. He had a smirk with a hider side, and we embraced, and it was just seeing them, everyone I've channeled, loved ones, and guides and angels makes me happy. That it exists. I saw Jesus too. He looked different from my Catholic upbringing, yet he put his palm on my heart and said, I am, you are, we are, about how connected we are. The I am presence that we are all connected, that everything is inside us and we choose. We pick our life, actions, and responses. Since then, I've remembered that I'd finished my task in 44 years on Earth and had the decision to stay or go back. My clients often question, what's my purpose? What am I meant to do? Spirit constantly responds that we have purposes. Nothing is our whole purpose. You're motivated. Perhaps raising your beautiful children and helping others is your mission. You are kind. Don't limit it to your job. Your purpose is about you all, and it might alter. All my goals were visible. It's not profound, we think. Oh well, I just held the door open for someone, or I just complimented someone. To them, it could be everything. Saying we're doing something good can change their terrible mood. Always hear that a nice act is a ripple in the pond. Indeed, it is. This memory reminded me that I had lived my purpose. I lived my purpose and could stay or depart. I knew I would return. I loved Kristen and everyone in my life, so I knew we were coming back. Once decided, I went back. I entered a hall of learning with straight-up walls. These large windows looked like an old library, yet were immaculate. In your mind's eye, the white is something, and the colors there are beyond this. Swirling colors. They're lively and independent. I was at this table with guides in front of me. I remember my greater self beside me. I have 2 additional key guides in front of me that I can't see, but I can see their movements. When I close my eyes, they appear light. I hope to remember them. However, we arrange everything and choose our family when we arrive here. We plan our lives. We'll marry this person, divorce, have this many children, and live in this type of family. This is the trauma I want to experience and the lessons I want to learn. I had to establish my life here. I forgot. I remember doing it, but I don't know what I chose because it would be cheating. I remember thinking, nope, we're not putting Kristen through that. Nope, we're not doing that. We're going to do this. I was so excited for her. I did my timeline and listed all the things I wanted to learn because we're here. We're all part of God and Source wants us to experience and grow and realize our connectivity. After that, I returned and was unresponsive for 20-ish hours, squirming and moving, so they squeezed my hands, blinking my eyes, etc. I panicked because I had the tube. My spouse had a sign I could read, and he spoke to me. I returned, though. My memory was fine at first. I only remembered a few minutes, maybe 30 seconds, and that was it. But the interesting thing is when one of my best friends had come in the room and her husband had said, "Kristen, what did you see on the other side?" And my friend Suzanne had said, "Kristen, everything that we were asking you, what's your name? What year is it? When's your birthday? Do you know who this is?" Just to make sure I knew all of that, she said. You could see that you were searching in your mind. Your eyes would go all over the place, and you were confused. But as soon as her husband said, "Kristen, what did you see?" And I told them I went straight to God, she goes, "Kristen, there was no you. You were telling your experience. You were telling what happened. There was no searching for that information. And then after you said that, we would ask questions again." And she goes, "And then again, you were searching for all of it. But it was like night and day. My parents came on Friday, and I was unresponsive. When they came in the door on Saturday morning, I was awake, and my mom said," she goes, "you had this blissful look on your face like when you were a child. It was just that contented joy on my face, and that's something that I try to take with me each day." We just went to supper, and my husband asked me, "Why are you smiling?" I said, "I'm just happy," and he replied, "That's the same look you had on your face in the hospital. Because I'm just happy. I'm content. I'm joyful to be with my husband in the truck, to see all of these people walking around. It was a beautiful sunset. It was just gorgeous outside. I was just so at peace and so joyful." And it's something that I try to take with me and remind myself about it each and every day. When I get frustrated about normal human things, I bring this back into my heart to remember all of it because I want to be more than what I was even before and help even more people if I can. It was a profound, beautiful experience for me. It was very hard on my family to see me like that, to have that happen. I was in the hospital for 6 days, 4 of them in one hospital, and they actually came and visited me, the nurses and the staff, because they couldn't believe that I made a full recovery. I had no brain injuries or anything. They had to staple the back of my head because I had fallen, but it was just tiny little cuts, and they did that as a precaution. I did have to go get a defibrillator, but it was an amazing experience. The interesting thing, too, is this happened on November 3rd, 2023. On October 30th, 2023, I totally forgot about this, and I actually wrote it down, just documented it for myself. But I happened to message a friend, and after I came back home and I was able to talk to people and everything, my friend messaged me and said, "Kristen, look what you texted me on October 30th. And that morning, I had heard a male's voice speak to me early one morning. He said like a whole paragraph, and I don't remember anything he said. But then a woman spoke in a soft voice, and she said, "It's happening. It's time." And then on November 3rd is when I had my NDE, and my heart stopped. I knew something was coming. I had told a couple of people that I felt something was going to happen, but I didn't know what. But I knew it. A part of me had always known that I was going to die young. It's just something that you have an inner knowing of, so I was shocked that it was something that I was right about. But having the heart issues, the electrical issues that I have, my plumbing is good in there, it's all electrical issues. I knew something was going to happen, but I am back, and I am grateful for the experience and the connections. And I'm blessed because I have friends that also are very spiritually connected. So when I spoke with them, they told me, I had one friend that said, "Kristen, you looked like the sun," and she was witnessing when I had the prayers, at that moment. And then I had this nudge to message my friend that I had seen her son, and I was like, that's not my thing. I don't want to tell her. I knew she'd be open to it, but I didn't want to upset her. My guide said, "Important, message her." So I messaged her and said, "I want to let you know I saw your son," and we embraced. She said, "Kristen, when I was praying for you, my son came to me. He would always smile like that with this little smirk, one side higher than the other. And he came to me and said, 'I'm with Kristen,' and we hugged. So what I told her is what he told her. So the validations from my friends when I didn't say anything yet. I wasn't telling my story yet because I was still absorbing everything that happened. We never die. Energy doesn't die. We're just in this physical body for a short time. Then we transmute and transform and come back out. And we're spirit. And we're still here. They're always here, experiencing with us and through us, which is why when I and my friends channel and do mediumship, they can see both before and after death. I remember my guides in spirit always saying, but being in spirit and having conversations with them about all this is mind what you speak goes out into the others to create your reality, so mind your words. I've seen that in my life, used my words, and it has profoundly changed my life. It was beautiful connecting with spirit beforehand. Because there's mind, body, spirit, but your spirit can be out and the body can still be alive. That's why you look at the eyes. My eye wasn't there because I wasn't there. I was out in spirit. All of these beautiful souls that I was able to channel met me on the other side, and it was just, I'm grateful for them giving me those messages because it's so true.